Okay, so I haven't made a video this way for a while. Last 3 videos or so I've made with my other camera and produced it on my laptop so that I could, get that done through that camera. So I have me down in the corner and the scriptures behind. I want to talk with you today about why we prefer oversimplified and hacked up translations instead of the translation of the Greek into English so that it's accurate. The reason is because what it boils down to is that we need to be in control of the testimony of God. Now, don't run away. Don't shut this off. Don't start screaming and beating your computer, okay, or your phone, whichever you're watching me on. And don't take a baseball bat and start beating your phone because I said that. I'm telling you the truth. Is that the reason why we like oversimplified scriptures is because we like to be able to control it, to manage it, to have a way to contain it. It's hard. If the scripture is too complicated to really understand very easily, then we can't port it around with us unless we take the Bible that has that more complicated Greek translation into English with us, which ideally you'll be able to. I think maybe, we'll have to set a milestone for what we complete, and maybe what we'll do is we'll put up each book as we complete it, so that you can either print out those individual books, or you can print out, you can do that now actually. Maybe not. All right, what we'll have to do is probably put PDFs up for each book that's completed, and then you can download and print those, or you can go to a place like online and have an actual book printed. But I would wait until the New Testament's done to do that, and then have the New Testament printed out into a book format that you can carry with you. And we'll look into how to do that so that you can have options of printing something just cheap or printing something really nice. But that'll be something you can do. You can take the text that we've created and put it up in there and print, or we'll put it up in there for you, and then you can just go ahead and order it straight from them. We won't make any money off of it, because our principles of ministry is that we do not get any money for our living or anything like that from ministering. Okay? We don't take money. We don't take donations or anything. So if we're going to put that up, it's just going to be, whatever the cost is there at that printing service, that's what it's going to cost you. That's it. Okay. All right. So let me talk about this a little bit more, because we just did John 1:1 and Genesis 1:1. And, Genesis 1:1 in the King James is one of the simplest verses in the Bible. But if we go back and look at it and we compare, it's like, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And you're like, that's really easy. You can carry that around. You can memorize that in about 10 seconds. Okay? But then you've got the translation from the Greek, which runs like this: in a beginning and in authority, the God makes the sky and the soil. It's very different. And it's got a lot more words. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. King James contains it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 4 more words. It's quite a bit more. That's almost 50% more. And the reason we do is for accuracy, so that in English you know what God said in the Greek. You might argue, well, the Old Testament wasn't written in Greek. Yeah, but the Jewish people translated it into Greek, and this was an accepted and official translation. And it's the one that God preserved. So you can argue that yes, those are God's words, even if it's not in the Hebrew that it may have originally been delivered in. We don't know that either. We don't know it wasn't delivered in Greek. We suspect it wasn't, and it may not have been, but it may have been. We really don't know, because you weren't there. We only know what scientists tell us. That's it. And they're people looking back into the mist of history, trying to sort it all out. And frankly, the information is missing. Information is missing. We don't know. So we don't know if it was given by God in Greek or in Hebrew. We do know that it was the Greek that survived. The Hebrew was made after Christ was murdered by the school of theologians, Jewish theologians, who murdered Jesus. And they said publicly that they were doing it because they needed to change the prophecies that proved that Jesus was the Messiah, because obviously he wasn't the Messiah. But they said that. They said it publicly. And they also said that they're going to restore the oral tradition to the written tradition, meaning we're going to change what's written in the scriptures to match what we say should be there. Well, that sounds like Jehovah's Witnesses, doesn't it? So what you got is the Jewish Jehovah's Witnesses who murdered Jesus and then rewrite the Bible, which was the Old Testament, rewrite the Old Testament, and then the Protestants come along, rebelling against their leaders over them, because they were all Catholics at that time, and then, in order to distinguish themselves from the Catholics even more, they took up the scriptures of the Jewish Jehovah's Witnesses, so to speak. All right? But back to my point is that the reason why we like to keep things simple is for portability, but also for manipulability. If there is such a word, I don't think there is. Manipulation, right? We like to be able to be in control. Now that's absolutely the wrong attitude. It is. It's absolutely the wrong attitude. That attitude towards the testimony of God will end you up in hell. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, like in Monopoly. You don't have any get out of jail card either. I mean, you're in. That's it. So that attitude is pride. Because a word for when it says humble yourselves under God in Peter and in Jacob, aka James, it means to literally to arrange yourself in an orderly manner under him. You arrange yourself in an orderly manner under God. Well, this is his testimony. This is what God spoke and men wrote for you. So you have a message from God. Check your messages. It's a long message. You've got a message from God. And it's sitting right there. But if you want to boil it down and reduce it down and filter out certain words and certain terms and make things, like a tweet, and say a verse can't be any longer than 120 characters, you're in trouble. You're in deep trouble when you get to Paul. Paul has sentences that go on for a chapter. I'm serious. One sentence for a chapter. The whole chapter is one sentence, no matter what it says in English. It's literally one sentence in Greek. You want to boil that down? Man, if that's how you approach the testimony of God, then you want to be deceived. You have never received the love of the truth then. Because the love of the truth says, I want to know exactly what God said. And if I can't get it, I need to find it. And if you don't have that desire, then that means you want to be deceived. And you will be deceived. It's in your heart. Don't do it. If that's what you want, this is not the channel for you. This is not the channel for you. If you want to be deceived by boiling down the testimony of God to get rid of over half of it, just for your convenience, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. Now, if you, on the other hand, you are hungry for what exactly did God say, you found it. This is exactly where you need to be, right here. Because that's exactly what we do. Stay with it. May the Lord bless you as you seek Him and continue to seek Him with all your heart.